Happy Friday, my caffeinated crafters. I'm Dawn Robles, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. I totally appreciate it. You can also find me over at Facebook at caffeinatedcraftlady. Now, today I want to share with you how to make this gift card holder. It actually holds a gift card and 5 Hershey nuggets, so extra bonus, right? Not only do you get a gift card, you get goodies to go with it. So it's very simple to make, and I went ahead and used the Tidings DSP. Now this was carried over from last year, and it's just so beautiful. It creates that old-fashioned winter look, and I just love it. So I'm just going to bring it up a little bit closer so you can see the paper. And then I did use 2 stamp sets only because I wanted the sentiment out of the tag buffet. I love the sayings in here and the greetings, so I went ahead and used "'Tis the Season" on this one. And then I am also using a bundle that we have currently available until November 30th, and it is called Quite Curvy and Curvy Christmas. Now, this also comes with a set of dies, and it is just beautiful. If you want the set with the Curvy Christmas in it, you have until November 30th to go ahead and get that ordered. After November 30th, you will have to wait until our new January spring catalog, and it will exclude the Curvy Christmas, but we will be able to order the Quite Curvy bundle with the dies as well. So you want this fun set, go ahead and get it ordered before November 30th. You're going to need a piece of garden green paper, and that'll be cut at 7.5 by 11. And then you're going to need a couple pieces of DSP. So this is 3 by 4 3/4. This is 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. This is 1 3/8 by 4 3/4. I went ahead and cut myself a window sheet to hold those nuggets in place, and this I cut at 1 3/8 by 4. And then for my greeting here, you can do anything here. I'm just keeping it simple today, so I just stamped a real simple greeting. So I used the scallop circles, 2-inch punch, and then the layering circles as well. So number 5 circle, or number 5 circle, number 4 scallop circle. And then you'll need 4 pieces of coordinating DSP, and those will be cut at 1 inch by 3 inches, and those are used to wrap around the nugget. So let me go ahead and move this out of the way and bring in our scoreboard. And we'll go ahead and get our scoring done. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in on the 7.5 inch side, and I'm going to go ahead and score that at 1/2 inch and 1 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and score it at 6 1/4 and 7. Going to rotate that, and then I'm going to score it at 2 7/8, at 7 1/4, 8, 9 1/2, and 10 1/4. And that will be all the scoring we have on this project. So I'll go ahead and move the scoreboard out of the way and bring in my scissors. And I'm just going to go ahead on the section here with the smaller score lines. I'm going to go ahead and cut right up those score lines to the second score line here. I'm going to completely remove this one and cut a notch, a small notch. And then I'm going to fold this backwards, and I'm going to cut this away Oops, a little more. And then just give it a very slight notch. And I'll do that on this one as well. Cut that first score line off and then just make yourself a little notch. Not too big, because if you make it too big, then your box will slide open. I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to cut up straight to the score lines, to the second score line. I guess I should say that out loud, huh? And I'm going to cut myself just a tiny little notch right there again. Cut this away, make a notch. Fold that down so I don't accidentally cut it. And then do my notches again. Okay, then I'm just going to fold those all over, because I'm going to cut off this long part, these two long sections here. I'm going to cut off on the second score line all the way up. Now you can do this actually with a long pair of scissors, or you can use your scoreboard. Some days I have a steady hand, some days I don't. So today I'm choosing to use the cutting board. Maybe too much caffeine, I don't know. So I'm just going to line my score line right up in my track here. And then I'm just going to go all the way down. And then I'm going to cut that last little section just to make sure that I don't cut my other tab. I'm just going to cut that away like so. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Going to line that up in the track. Cut that away. I think I need to change my blade there. Okay, got that done. We are not done with the scoreboard yet though. So we're going to go ahead. This is going to fold in like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure 2.5 or 2.25 inches down on this side. And you can take a pencil, a pen, or your chalk marker actually, and make a tick mark where you want to cut. And I can see that. So I just went down 2.25, made my tick mark there. I'm going to bring back my quarter. And again, you could do this with your scissors. I just like the more precise cut of the cutting blade, although I guess I should change my blade so it's more precise, right? And then I'm just going to make that a diagonal right there. Line it up in my grooves and cut that part away. Now we're done with the cutting. Oh, no, we're not. We've got to cut our DSP. So we're going to bring in the piece that is 2 7/8, or 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. And we're going to do the same thing. You can measure down if you'd like. To be honest with you, I kind of eyeball it. I know that's bad, but seriously, that's what I do. So I just kind of line that up on my sheet where I want it, and then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to make a tick mark and a tick mark, and then I'm going to make that cut as well. Then I'm going to line that all up in my cutting track right here. Here's my tick mark, here's my tick mark, and cut that off. Now let's see if it measures up. Yes, it does beautifully. So we can go ahead and fold in on our score lines here. Grab my bone folder. And I know I say that every video, but fold from the middle out. works best for me. Like so. And then I'm going to bring in my corner rounder. Now this is a handheld one, but we do have the trio punch that has the corner rounder in it. I always grab this one when I'm in a hurry, and it's always on my desk, so it's a little contraband, but sometimes we got to do what we got to do, right? Okay, so I just rounded the corners there. And then I'll go ahead and fold that down as well. And then fold these in. Okay, now all we're going to do is start adhering our DSP. And I'm just going to use the regular stamp and seal. This stuff is awesome. And if you were a fan of the Fast Fuse like I was, the new Stamp and Seal Plus is amazing. It's even better than the Fast Fuse. Okay, I'm going to take that and put that right inside. That'll be your inside pocket. And I'm going to take this piece and put it on the outside. And in reality, you probably don't need this much glue. I just like making sure everything stays stuck down. Maybe, huh? Okay, I'm just going to bring that back in here, line that up, and glue it down. And then if you're using directional paper, make sure when you glue it that you have it both facing the right way. I have done that several times. So make sure that your papers are always facing the right way. And let's go ahead and glue this as well. Again, making sure that your pattern is facing this the right way. And when you're gluing this piece, I highly recommend either using liquid glue or the Stamp and Seal Plus. Do not use, or the Stamp and Seal, do not use the Stamp and Seal Plus, because I used that thinking I didn't want this to lift right, and I could hardly get it through my die machine. I had to go over it like 8 times to get it to cut, and then it was not very pretty. And what I figured out, it was actually that is how strong the glue is. It would not let me cut through it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the rectangle stitched die here, and I don't remember what size this is. I'll put it down below. Well, here, I don't have to do that. I can measure it. It's the 1x3 die, 1 inch by 3 inches. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball that and place it where I think it needs to be. And then I use that Post-it tape to make sure that it stays in place. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go over to my die machine. I don't want to bring it in. And when I do that, I'm going to fold this and this all under so it fits through the die machine. And then this right here can be folded like so. So give me 1 second here. We're going to do this really quick. I have it right here next to me. So we have the new catalog going out, and if you have not placed an order with me, send me an email if you'd like that new catalog, and I'll make sure it gets in the post to you. If you could do that by November 29th, that would be really great, because that is when I'm going to submit my order. And I want to make sure you get that catalog if you want one, because it's pretty awesome. We got a sneak peek at it. So I ran it through the Big Shot, as I'm sure you heard. And I'm just going to pull that off gently. And usually that Post-it tape you can use quite a few times. I've used this several times. I've made quite a few of these already. I made some for Thanksgiving for a friend of mine. And actually, I'm going to save this piece because I actually made a card with all my leftover pieces. So if you have a lot, you can make a really pretty card with this, and I'll come back and show you another time how to do that. So I've got my cutout, so I'm just going to take my liquid glue and I'm going to go ahead and glue my window sheet. Now, instead of putting glue on the window sheet, because once the glue's on there, it doesn't come off, I actually put it on the outside. Of the rectangle. That way I know it's not going to come through. And then, of course, just make sure that you place that window sheet between your score lines so you can still fold up. Okay, let that dry for a few seconds. While that's drying, I'm going to bring in my tear-in tape and go ahead and put some tear-in tape down so we can glue this bad boy together. So okay, and we'll do this here. We'll put some right there. And all we're going to do is, I am going to burnish that a little bit. That way it just sticks even better. And I'm just going to take that off. Maybe. Man, every single time I do that, I have trouble taking this off. So, go ahead and bring in my pick tool. It's not going to kick my butt. No. And then I just simply fold that over. And now you've created your pocket for your gift card holder. Now let's go ahead and make our box for our Hershey nuggets. Just make sure that your score lines you have nice creases. And it's going to play games with me again, and I'm not going to let it win because I'm not that kind of girl here. There we go. I'm just simply going to fold this over and then pull it over like so. And press it down real nice. Then I'm going to take my bone folder and slide it back and forth. Then I push it this way just so it gets nice and square. And there you go. And then I'm going to fold in my ends here. There we go. And I did go ahead and wrap 4 of my nuggets, and I just used the Real Red and the Garden Green because it's so pretty and it needed a little color, I thought. And to wrap your nuggets, you just simply take your 1x3 piece and wrap it around your nugget. Press it firm, take a little, the snail or the Stampin' Seal will not hold that in place. So I recommend using just some liquid glue is strong enough, but the Stampin' Seal, they seem to pop open on me. And I just put that down. Stop rubbing it so I'm moving it around, duh. And then I just simply load my nuggets, and I chose to do the alternating, come on Donnie, there we go. And then close up your little treats. And you could put different things. You could even put those long tubes of of lotion that you get at Bath & Body. I bet those would even fit in here as well. That's a good idea, actually. Glad I thought of it. Okay, so I already went ahead and cut my scallops, but we are going to stamp the sediment. Let me just bring in a piece of paper so I don't stamp on my grid paper. And I'm going to stamp the sediment in real red. Simply, I just wanted a little bit of color. The first one I did in garden green, and I thought, nah, it needs a little something, so let's try this. So I'm going to line that up in my circle. And I found with using both stamp sets that I'm using, it was easier to actually cut my circle and stamp than stamp and cut my circle. Normally I will stamp and cut, but this time around I chose the other way. And I'm going to go ahead and make the stars in garden green. The last one I made in yellow, and to me it just didn't really fit that background. As you can see here, I did the stars in yellow thinking they was kind of be like gold, you know, but so I just mounted up not even the whole stamp here, just I'm going to stamp a section of it. So I'm just going to ink that up. And then I'm going to kind of come over here, maybe make that a little bit straighter. Can y'all see? And just kind of stamp it down. Yeah, it's okay. It could have been in a different position, but it is what it is. And then we're going to come here. And I just thought it gave it a little something here. And let's try it on the other side. Let's see if we can do it better. Let's try it one more time. I'm not completely happy with that. Let me give it one more whirl. I swear I have something wrong with my speech all the time. My tongue works faster than my brain. Okay, so I'm going to turn that here. Just kind of. Not sure I'm happy with that either, but just kind of, it almost makes it look like a little ornament, you know. Close this up because I will put my fingers in it. And then I'm just going to take my stamp and seal. Oh. Okay. Sound like the mad bartender, you know? He always goes, okay. I love those videos. Alrighty, and then I'm just going to build up my tag like this. Pop. Oh, I smeared it. Ay, caramba. Oh well, I'll fix it later. Just give you the general idea. That's what happens when you over ink your ink pads. Bring this one back in here. And when you see the finished product, just pretend it's not smeared. There you go. Easy peasy. Don't smear the ink like I did. If I can be of any assistance to you guys, please reach out and let me know. If you're placing an order, oh, I do want to share with you that we are having a sale on Tuesday. It is going to be 10% off a lot of items in the annual catalog. So make sure you go to my site and check that out. And then, as always, if your order is under $150, if you could use that hostess code, I would really appreciate it. If it's over $150, please do not use the hostess code. Thanks, guys. Have a great day, and I'll catch you the next time. Bye-bye for now.